Before you take your next step, I want you to notice something. When your foot touches the ground, what lands first? Your heel or the front of your foot? Because if the front of your foot is landing first, or your whole foot is slapping down flat, you may be making one of the most dangerous walking mistakes adults over 70 can make, and almost nobody has explained why it matters. Not because you are weak, not because you are careless, and not just because you are getting older. It matters because one quiet change in the way you walk can set off the exact chain that leads to stumbles, then falls, then injuries that change a life in one afternoon. And here is the part most people miss. This walking mistake usually does not start outside. It starts at home, in the hallway, in the bathroom, in the kitchen you have crossed 10,000 times. That is why it catches people by surprise. I know why you clicked on this. Maybe you had one strange little trip recently and brushed it off. Maybe you caught the edge of a rug. Maybe you felt your foot drag on a step. Maybe somebody you love said, "You're starting to shuffle a little," and you did not like hearing it. Or maybe nothing dramatic has happened yet. Maybe you just have that quiet feeling that your walking no longer feels honest, as if your feet and your brain are not sending the same message anymore. If that is you, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, I am going to show you the one simple walking mistake that becomes dangerous after 70, the reason it happens, the two-word correction that starts fixing it immediately, and the short daily routine that helps your body remember how to walk safely again. I am Dr. Elias Novak, and if this is the kind of practical, no-fluff health guidance you want more of, subscribe and turn on the bell, because this channel is where I teach the things most appointments never have enough time to cover. Now let's talk about the mistake. The mistake is this: letting your step start with a flat foot or the front of the foot instead of your heel. It sounds small. It sounds harmless. It sounds like the kind of detail only therapists or specialists would care about. But after 70, it is not a small detail. It is often the first visible sign that your walking pattern has become defensive, shortened, and unstable. A healthy step is a roll. Heel touches first. Weight moves through the middle of the foot. Then the toes help you push into the next step. Smooth, quiet, efficient. But when people begin to lose confidence, lose foot clearance, or stop lifting the front of the foot well enough, that roll changes. The foot starts landing flat. Or the toes start reaching for the floor too early. The step gets shorter. The body leans forward. The eyes go down. And now the person is no longer walking through space. They are bracing against it. That is the mistake. Not walking. Bracing. And bracing feels safe in the moment, but over time, it creates the exact pattern that makes tripping and falling more likely. Think about it this way. If your heel lands first, your body has a smooth sequence to follow. If the whole foot drops flat, or the toes get there first, your weight is already creeping forward before your body has organized the step. That means less clearance, less recovery time, less margin for error. And after 70, tiny margins matter. A shoe edge matters. A threshold matters. A bath mat matters. A crack in the sidewalk matters. That is why people will often say, "I wasn't doing anything. I just went down." Exactly. That is what makes this so dangerous. The fall usually does not happen during some dramatic activity. It happens during ordinary walking. Let me tell you about a patient story I often think about. Details changed, lesson real. A man in his early 70s came in to see me. Still driving, still independent, still taking pride in doing everything himself. He did not come because of a big fall. He came because his daughter noticed something. She said, "Dad is looking at the floor all the time now." He rolled his eyes when she said it. He thought she was overreacting. So I asked him to walk down the hallway. 10 steps, that was all. By the third step I could see it. Short stride, front foot landing, eyes down. No clean heel contact, no real roll through the foot. And then he said something I hear all the time. "I'm just being careful." No, that is what it feels like, but that is not what it is. He was not being careful. He was walking in a pattern built around mistrust. His body no longer trusted the floor, so it was trying to grab it early. That is the trap. Because the pattern that feels cautious often becomes the pattern that makes a person easier to trip. If this is making sense already, type the word walking in the comments. I always read the comments, and it helps me know what people are dealing with in real life, not just what shows up in a textbook. Now here is why this happens. As we get older, a few things often change at the same time. The muscle that lifts the front of the foot may weaken. Balance confidence may drop after one stumble. Step length often gets shorter. Sensory feedback from the feet may become less sharp. And the brain starts prioritizing protection over rhythm. That sounds smart, but the problem is, the protection strategy is usually too small, too stiff, and too forward. Instead of stepping through the heel, the body starts placing the foot down quickly just to feel contact. And that is when walking becomes noisy, flat, and unstable. Let me give you the simplest possible way to know if this is happening to you. Tonight, stand near a counter, a wall, or the back of a sturdy chair. Take 6 slow steps forward. Do not try to fix anything yet. Just notice. Does your heel touch first, or does your foot arrive flat? Do your toes clear the floor cleanly, or do they skim? Are you walking tall, or are you leaning forward and watching the ground? If your step feels short, flat, or slappy, that is your clue. Not your sentence, your clue. Because the good news is that this pattern can often improve, and the fix begins with 2 words. Reach your heel. That is the cue. Not be careful, not slow down, not take tiny steps. Reach your heel. When you think reach your heel, 3 good things start happening at once. First, the front of your foot naturally lifts a little more. Second, your step organizes into a smoother roll. Third, your posture starts getting taller instead of folding forward. Try saying it with me. Reach your heel. That one cue is simple enough to remember and powerful enough to change the whole step. But there is one more piece, and this part matters just as much. When most people try to fix their walking, they look down to monitor their feet. That feels logical. It is also a mistake. Because when you look down, your head drops. When your head drops, your shoulders round. When your shoulders round, your weight shifts forward. And when your weight shifts forward, you end up practicing a better step inside the same unstable posture that caused the problem to begin with. So the full correction is not just heel first. It is this. Reach your heel, eyes up. That is your walking sentence. Reach your heel, eyes up. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember that. Now I want to give you 3 simple movements that train this pattern back into the body. No gym, no special equipment, no complicated routine. Movement 1 is the toe lift. Stand with your back against a wall, or hold a counter if needed. Keep your heels on the floor. Lift the front of your feet and your toes up toward your shins. Hold for a second. Lower slowly. Do that 15 times. Rest. Then do 15 more. This wakes up the muscles that help your foot clear the ground and prepare for a heel-first step. If the front of your shin starts to burn a little, that is normal. That is often the exact area that has gone quiet. Movement 2 is the hallway heel walk. Stand beside a wall so one hand can lightly touch it if needed. Now take 10 slow steps. With each step, think only this. Reach your heel, eyes up. 10 steps forward. Turn carefully. 10 steps back. Go slower than you want to. Slow is not weakness here. Slow is how the brain relearns. Movement 3 is the step clear drill. Use the bottom stair or a low stable surface. Step up with one foot by thinking heel first, then step down with control, then switch sides. 10 times each side. This teaches your foot to clear space instead of dragging through it, and that matters because many falls are not about speed. They are about catching what should have been cleared. Now I want to pause for 1 second and tell you something important. You do not need to become athletic to become safer. You do not need perfect balance. You do not need to walk like you did at 40. You do not need one huge breakthrough. You need a safer pattern repeated consistently. That is all. Most people fail here because they do too much on day 1, then nothing on day 4. Do not do that. Do 2 minutes. Do 5 minutes. Do 7 minutes. Just do it again tomorrow. That is how the nervous system changes. Not with drama, with repetition. Let me tell you what often happens next when people actually follow this. Within a couple of weeks, the steps start sounding different, quieter, cleaner, less slapping. Within a few more weeks, they tell me they are looking down less. They feel steadier turning around. They stop grabbing furniture as much. Their family notices they are standing taller. And the strange part is, they often think their balance improved. What actually improved was the pattern feeding the balance. That is a huge difference. Now, there are 3 questions I want you to bring to your next doctor's appointment if this sounds familiar. Say, I've noticed my walking pattern has changed. Can you watch me walk? Can you check strength and sensation in my lower legs and feet? Should we look for anything affecting my balance, walking, or nerve function? That conversation matters, because sometimes a walking change is simply a movement pattern issue. But sometimes it can be connected to vision changes, medication effects, dizziness, low sensation in the feet, vitamin problems, or nerve issues. And I want to be very clear here. There are times when you should not just practice at home and hope for the best. Call your doctor promptly if one foot suddenly starts dragging, if your walking changes quickly over days instead of gradually over months, if you have numbness in the feet, repeated unexplained stumbles, new dizziness when standing, or more than one fall in a short period of time. Those are warning signs. Do not ignore them. But for many people, the problem is not that the body has forgotten how to walk. It is that the body has stopped being asked the right way. And that is why this can improve. Not overnight, not magically, but meaningfully. So let's make this as simple as possible. Here is your plan. Tonight, notice how your foot is landing. Tomorrow morning, do the toe lifts. Tomorrow afternoon, do the hallway heel walk. By the end of the week, add the step clear drill. And every time you walk through your house, quietly repeat, reach your heel, eyes up. That is it. Not 20 instructions, not a stack of equipment, not a long routine you will never stick with. One mistake to notice, one cue to replace it, 3 movements to reinforce it. That is how real change happens. And here is the deeper truth underneath all of this. After 70, people often think safety means shrinking. Smaller steps, smaller movement, smaller confidence, smaller life. But safety is not shrinking. Safety is walking with a pattern your body can trust. When your heel reaches forward cleanly, when your foot clears the ground, when your eyes stay up and your posture stays tall, you are not just changing your walk. You are changing the message your brain receives with every step. From danger to direction. From hesitation to rhythm. From don't fall to keep moving. That shift matters. Because a fall is never just a fall. It can become fear. Fear becomes less movement. Less movement becomes weakness. Weakness becomes more risk. So if you interrupt that cycle early, you are not just protecting a step. You are protecting independence. You are protecting confidence. You are protecting ordinary life. The walk to the mailbox, the trip to the kitchen, the turn in the bathroom at night, the ability to carry something in your hands and not feel like every surface is trying to betray you. That is why this matters. So before you leave this video, I want you to do one thing for me. The next time you stand up and walk, do not think about being older. Do not think about being fragile. Do not think about trying not to fall. Think this instead. Reach your heel, eyes up. And if you want, type the word ready in the comments so I know you are starting. I am Dr. Elias Novak, and if this helped you, subscribe, because in the next video I am going to show you a simple nightly drill that helps improve balance confidence before bed in under 1 minute. Take care of your steps, and your steps will take care of more of your life than you think. This video is for